Hi everyone, welcome to another masterclass. This time we are going to talk about PWAs on our 27th masterclass, and today we have a man that's like it's making history today. He's the man with most masterclasses in history. Pedro Oliveira is here with us again, and today he is going to talk about how to deal with PWAs. Hi Pedro, how are you?
Hello, how are you, João?
How do you feel to have this honor to be like the
Amazing. 27 masterclass is an amazing number. I never thought we would get to this number, but with
yeah.
effort, we can do everything, basically.
Yeah, and we are
Yeah.
here, and we tend to do many more like
Yes.
this one. And yeah, today we are going to talk about how to deal with PWAs with Pedro. And before we start, let me advise you that you should drop us a like and comment on this video if you have any type of questions during this presentation. Me or Pedro will be more than willing to answer all of your questions throughout the this masterclass. And if you want to have the full guide for this masterclass, check Pedro's article. It's already on our blog, and it's ready for you to consult and to see as a guide for this masterclass. And yeah, without further to add, Pedro, and before you go on with the presentation and you lead it on, can you tell us about the importance of PWAs and why we are doing this masterclass?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, when you asked me about the subject, I almost immediately thought about PWAs, and mostly because I feel like I mean, we deal with a lot of clients, different clients with different needs, and not a lot of times I feel that there's a lack of knowledge on PWAs, what they can do, what they are able to do, and people don't know how easy it is to create a PWA and how powerful they can be. Uh, um, and by looking at native applications for iOS or Android, it's so much easy to create a PWA, and they can do almost everything a native application can do. So I feel like giving this masterclass. Um, I hope you enjoy it and get out of here with having in your mind that PWA is a very powerful tool that you have, and it's here for you to use. So yeah, explore PWAs and try to use them more. I don't know why PWAs are not used and spread all over, but yeah,
But yeah, now we are going to know how to deal with them, right?
yes, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So I feel like we should start with some light information about PWAs and a small history lesson about PWAs. And I would like to share with you a video that I came to encounter a few days ago about a talk. I mean, the presentation of one of the first versions of iPhone, and it was done by Steve Jobs, obviously in 2007, and somehow during the presentation he kind of predicted the concept of a PWA, a concept that only appeared later in 2015. So he basically presents this concept of having applications built on web by that time 2.0 and Ajax, because now we don't use Ajax, but we have JavaScript, okay, and applications that are not native, okay, with instant distribution to everyone that has them installed, easy to update, secure. So this is basically the concept, the modern concept of the PWA, and he predicted this a few years ago. Not a few years ago, a lot of years ago. It's just a curiosity. Okay, so About the lifetime, a small review on the lifetime of the PWA application. So this first idea, at least for me, I consider this to be the first idea of a PWA in the wild. Okay, so later in 2015, the concept of a progressive web app appeared on an article written by two employees from Google. So they were looking at applications and understanding how can applications improve the usability and the expectations of the user. So they came with a couple of best practices and ways of improve this. So they came up with this term of progressive web app. If you want to learn more or know where the article is, you can pass by our article. You have more information there. So later, 1 year later, around that time, Google announced that PWA was going to be, at least for them, a new web standard fully supported by their browser, Chrome. Unfortunately, only 2 years later, we saw Apple and Microsoft, not 100% assuming PWA as a new web standard, but at least they announced their browsers to support PWA applications. So where are we today? So that's what we are going to talk. How is the state of the PWA? So we need to start very quickly on explaining what a PWA is. And it's quite simply because a PWA is nothing more than a website that you can install natively in your device. Yeah. You just need a browser, for example, Safari in iOS or Chrome in your Android device, and you can install a PWA website in your device. You will get an icon in your screen. You click it, and you have a full screen application. So this will deliver a native look and feel to your application. It can access almost, I would say, more than 90% of your device's native features. And so basically it's just HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript. It's nothing more than this. So you build an application, a web application, and with small efforts, you can have it installed in your device. So it's nothing more than this. So how does it work? So a PWA, yes, it's just a website. So, but for the browsers to know this is a PWA and allow you to install it, you must fulfill at least these 3 mandatory requirements. The first one is you need a server to host your website, and that server you need to enable the HTTPS protocol in the server. This is the first requirement. The second one is for you to have a service worker running. And this is kind of, the HTTPS is kind of a consequence for the service worker, because you need HTTPS to run a service worker. And the last requirement is for you to have a manifest JSON file. We will talk about that later, but basically is where you have all the metadata, all the information of your application, like the name, the logo, the description, the background color, all of that. Okay, so very quickly, some PWA advantages. So as I said, it will deliver a native experience. You will have your application in full screen. You can customize if you want the status bar of your application to be visible or hidden. You have gestures, a lot of things, okay? So you don't need to learn the native languages from iOS or Android to create your application. No, if you know JavaScript, CSS, and HTML, you're fine. So instant update. So if you update the code in your server, it will spread out to all the applications. I mean, It's just like doing a regular refresh on your web browser. Store free because you don't need to pay to Apple or Google to store your application in their stores. CEO friendly, so it's built to support SEO. Sorry, it's completely fine to perform SEO. No problems there. It's easy to install. You just need like one click and it's done. Offline capabilities. This means that you can run it offline. No problems there. Security. Basically, we can talk a lot about this, but mostly because it's running on an HTTPS enabled server. Cross-platform, okay, you can install it on both platforms from Apple and Android. It's faster to develop because it's basically a website. You don't need much more than that. So what they can do. Some of the features that I want to highlight. So we can access the Bluetooth of your cell phone, the vibration motor of your cell phone, a lot of sensors. You have access to touch gestures, full screen, push notifications, a lot of stuff. And on top of everything, if you want to use some JavaScript libraries, let me just turn this on. Okay, so if you want to use JavaScript libraries, you can also access shape detection, augmented reality, you name it. Okay, the sky is literally the limit. All the other features you can use Cordova. Again, you have a lot of links on useful links on the article, so you can go there and explore these a little more. But not everything is perfect. Obviously, life is like that. So there are some features that we don't have access. Features like SMS, probably because of security reasons, and also NFC, probably also for security reasons. Okay. So I would like to share with you some cool statistics to prove kind of that PWAs can be very successful. So Starbucks, for example, they claim they have increased the active users, daily active users, 2 times since they released the Starbucks PWA, and the number of orders already is the same as desktop, for example. Or if we talk about Uber's PWA, this application is designed to have 50Ks when zipped. It's an amazing number.
Yeah.
It takes less than 3 seconds to fully load on 2G networks. So you can guess if you are on a 3G or a 5G, it's very fast. Okay. Tinder. Okay. I didn't use it, but someone told me. So they reduced the loading times from Tinder from around 12 seconds to less than 5 seconds. Okay, amazing numbers. And their application, as the one as we saw here at Starbucks or Uber, they reduce the application in 90%. Okay, it's 90% smaller than the native brother of Tinder's on Android. Okay, it's a lot. And Pinterest, for example, a lot of us we use Pinterest as inspiration.
Yeah.
They claim to saw a 44% increase in advertising generated by users, and also the time a user spends in the PWA application increased by 40%. These numbers are huge, and they prove, I believe, that PWA applications can be pretty fast to develop and very, very productive. Okay. So if you want to search for more statistics, You can search for Trend Radar, or if you go to our article, you have a link there for a website with some cool statistics, more statistics. Okay, go there and see, because it's some of them are also funny. So now we know what a PWA is, what it can do, why we should use it. So going to OutSystems and introducing OutSystems here in the history, let's talk a little about how can we create PWAs in OutSystems. So at first, some of us would say, if I ask you how many ways can you create a PWA in OutSystems? Okay, most of us would answer one. Okay, and that is by creating a mobile application and define it as a PWA. Yes, this is the fastest way, and it's the way OutSystems promote it. But we also have two other ways. One is to create a PWA entirely using a manual methodology, and with that we can create a web application and define it as a PWA. The advantage of this is we can create a web reactive application, a web responsive application that can be well experienced in a desktop or in a mobile. Okay, define it as a PWA. Or we have a third method, which probably requires more CSS knowledge, and it's basically creates a PWA application to run on desktop. And I'm going to go more deeply on three of these, so let's do it. So the first one is the easiest, right? Most of us know how to do this. Basically, we just need to, when we are going to create an application from scratch, we choose mobile or tablet. Okay, it's basically both of them will allow us to create a PWA.
Yeah.
Then we just need to go to the extensibility configurations of our module, and then we had some information. Basically, it's the information of the manifest file. And again, here my recommendation is for you to use an online manifest configurator. Okay, you have a lot of them. Just Google it or go to the article. I have a link there. So you add the manifest content here, then you publish your module, and then you go to the dashboard of your application and activate this toggle here saying distribute as a PWA. This is going to generate everything, and that's it. Nothing more. So very easy, very straightforward. The second method is to create a web application and define it manually as a PWA. So what we are saying is you start from scratch, and instead of selecting one of these options, you will select the reactive web app. Okay? So what you need to do next is, naturally, as we talked in the beginning, we will need a manifest.json file. Again, use a generator to assist you on this task. There are a lot of online tools to do that. You most certainly will end up with something like this. Okay, you will define the name of your application, a short name, the sources for the icons, how the color you want for your application, a lot of stuff. Wait just a second. Okay, so this is the first step. Then you need to add the file to your resources. So you do this by deploying the file to the target directory and define it as PWA. And that's fine with that. That's okay. So next you need to create the service worker that we talked earlier. And again, you can use some online tools that can build that for you. It's quite easy. Again, we have more deeply explanation on the article, and like the manifest, you will need to add your service worker to the resources on your module of your application. So another thing that you also need to do is to create all the icons that your PWA will need. So as you can see here, you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different sizes for your application logo. Okay. Again, there are online tools to assist you, and you just need to upload one image, and there are tools that will resize everything to the right sizes. Again, add all the files to the resources and publish. Okay, in the end, you will have something similar to this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the last, or one of the, not the last step, but we are almost there. We just need to tell the application that we want the application to use the manifest file and the service worker we just created. So to do that, we go to the application system event, we create an on-application ready system event, and we add a JavaScript action there. And inside the JavaScript action, we will do two things. One thing is to append to the header of the HTML the hyperlink to our manifest. The second thing that we will do is to register our service worker. Okay, so as you can see here, with 16 lines, you're done, right? You don't need much more than that. So lastly, you just need to publish your application and you're done. So it's not complicated. It's a manual process, but if it works, it's pretty cool because you have a web reactive application that you can install in your desktop or in your mobile phone.
In your mobile.
It's pretty cool. So the last way of creating a PWA in OutSystems, it's kind of a mix of the previous methods. Okay, so the trick here is I never saw anyone doing this. I already tested this method and it works like a charm. So the trick is you create a mobile application or a tablet application, and with CSS and some tweaks to the layout you are using, you will apply styles to change, for example, the width of your application and some other things. So it will look like a desktop application. Instead of having a small screen, you can say that your screen can grow up to 100% of your screen. You define everything there, and you will end up with a desktop application. So you have some cool features, like, for example, after you install the application, you can have shortcuts, okay? And you can access directly to an area of your application. So you are avoiding a lot of noise when you enter the application and need to click on 3 or 4 places to get to the place you need to be. So it's funny. Not funny, but fun. And you can have your application in full screen, have a status bar with your primary color, with the buttons from the operating system you are at. So yeah, basically it's a native application on Windows or Mac OS. And these are the 3 methods, basically. So if you want to test, I can advise you 4 ways for you to test your PWA. You can test, obviously, if you are building and you want to install it on a mobile device, you can access. You go, for example, on Android devices, you type in on Chrome, you type in the address, and after the page loads, and there are some tricks here because Chrome will not instant the second you enter the application, Chrome is not going to tell you or allow you to install it. You need to interact with the application for a few seconds and do 1 or 2 clicks before Chrome allow you to install it. Okay, so if you open your application, and you are sure it's a PWA, if it doesn't appear right away a notification message asking you if you want to install it, don't worry. Scroll up and down and click on 1 or 2 places, and if it in fact is a PWA, Chrome will warn you about that. Okay. And in iOS devices, in later versions of Safari, they started to notify you about the PWA, and you can install it directly from there. But for older versions, you need to go to the menu of Safari and click on an option there that says something like install application, something like that. So it's not, for older versions of Safari, it's not as easy as Android, but you can do it with no problems. Then on Chrome, on desktop devices, if you open, for example, Chrome, you will see, if your application is a PWA, you will see an icon similar to this one on the search bar of your browser. You click it and the application is going to be installed, no problems. And if you want to debug your application to see why it's not loading as a PWA, for example, if you open DevTools from Chrome and go to application and then select manifests as the small picture, I hope you can see it, as the small picture here on the screen, you will have a lot of information about the PWA. If you have any errors, like there's a missing image or an image has the wrong size, you will have the error here indicating the specific error that you need to fix. So it's also quite easy to debug and look for problems. So that's it. A lot more can be said.
Yeah,
but
sure.
As a final slide, at least for me, I believe, or I feel like there's, as I said, when João asked me in the beginning, as I said, there is a lot of lack of knowledge about what is a PWA and how can we deal with PWAs. A lot of times when I suggest to a client that he can use a PWA and it's best to create a web responsive application and define it as a PWA, because if you have an application and we want to allow users to access in desktop and in the mobile, the experience is going to be different. Okay, there are needs on desktop and there are needs in a mobile device, because in desktop we are usually using a mouse, and on a mobile device we are using our fingers. Okay, so there are different needs. So a responsive application can take care of these different needs, and why not deliver the most native experience as possible to our users? Why not?
Yeah.
So I believe PWAs are a pretty great tool that is very easy for us to deal with. It's possible to design perfect applications with a perfect look and feel, very, very, very close to Android or iOS applications. And yeah, obviously, I don't know how can we build applications in a faster way, native applications in a faster way, rather than building a PWA. Okay, even if we are very good on native languages, the native applications from Android, it's faster to develop a PWA. Also, it really is. Okay, so this is what I want you to remember. And with this, I mean, I hope you learned something from us. And yeah, thank you
Yeah,
for listening. If you have any questions, if I said something wrong, if you don't agree with something, leave it on the comments.
yeah.
We are here. We are willing to answer your questions, your thoughts.
And
Yeah,
we are open for discussion. Like,
obviously. Yes.
what do
Yeah.
you feel about PWAs? What's your
Yeah.
feeling on it? If you have
Have you
worked,
ever built a PWA?
yeah, yeah, that can be a
Or at
question.
least have you ever uh, tried to implement a PWA on your company and someone said, no, PWAs, no, what an awful thing. No, we want native Android application. Yeah, that happens to me.
Yeah, and don't forget to look at Pedro's article. It's way
Yes.
more dense than this
Yeah.
presentation that we did, and it would be useful for you to start using PWAs and not overlook them, as Pedro was saying before.
Yeah.
That sometimes PWAs get these overlooked by people, and they actually are important and they actually are useful and faster to build.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that said, thanks Pedro for the presentation. I think that the one
Thank you.
people got really good insights about this, and like you are a natural on this. It's not your last masterclass,
No,
it's not your first, and it will surely not be the last one.
don't
um,
call me Shirley, please.
no, I will not, sorry. But yeah, for the ones at home, thanks for stood by till the end of this masterclass. And don't forget to, as I said at the beginning, drop us a like, share this.
Smash the like button, right?
Yeah, yeah, smash the like button. And yeah, see you on the next masterclass. And yeah, till then, take care. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.